Man, back at it for another Rosco Odyssey walk and talk. Familiar spot here. So I'm gonna get into this and kick off with the weather straight away here. So we've got 51 degrees, partly cloudy. Had a good amount of rain last couple days. So air quality is 17. We're looking good there. We've got the UV index at 2. That's ultraviolet index. Low winds today. So we got winds at 2 miles per hour. Looking like it's coming out of the north at 10 degrees with gusts up to about 5 miles per hour. Sunrise was at 07:17 and sunset is set up for 16:51. For the rest of the day, we've got they're saying 0 inches of rain for the rest of the day, but then they've got it set up for tomorrow. They're saying about a 1/4 inch of rain, about 0.25 inches expected tomorrow. We're looking at 15-mile visibility is 15 miles with 81% humidity. Looks like we'll be looking at a full moon this evening or tonight at 17:03, 100% illumination. Next full moon will be 29 days. And then atmospheric pressure is 30.31 in Hg. All right, so we got the weather knocked out, and I'll get the rest of this going. I'll be back. All right. You're back. I'm back with another Rosco Odyssey walks. I kicked it off right away, got into the weather. And let's go ahead and just review. It is Sunday, December 15th, 2024 or 2024. And I got a couple things lined out today. Let's see what we got. Whoop. Try to go easy on this. Get this a little more steady today. Wind shouldn't be too bad. Got some sun shining through. Get that early day sunshine. Just kind of get around this over here. Yeah, little by little, they're working at it. There's going to be some expansions on the way. So here we go. So yeah, I got a topic lined out. I've been thinking a lot about this topic. It's about energy. Energy. You know, I think it takes it's a lot of. I think energy is a pretty broad spectrum. You know, there's a lot of different forms and sources. I tend to think we're just surrounded by it, basically, pretty much. But so that's going to kind of set up what I'm trying to relay here is energy as in available versus free or 0 point. And the way I kind of see it. And I see it as basically available. As far as free or 0 point, the 0 point thing, I'm not even going to pretend to really know too much. I don't know about that topic. So I'm not even going to try to get into what that maybe means. But I'm just throwing it out there because it's something that you hear a lot of that lately with like electric vehicles and like clean burning stuff. But I'm gonna kind of try to keep it towards what it means in a broader sense. So I would say available, meaning that we're surrounded by it, it's available, right? It's just how do our bodies use it? Food, whether it's food, air, the air conversion alone, breathing in the oxygen, converting that into some sort of energy or power, and then how, it's always like, I think we definitely always want to find affordable sources and sustainable sources, repeatable sources. So but it's a matter of like, is it necessarily free versus, I guess if we're out and about breathing air, that's about as freely as it can be, right? But now when you want to change that into usable energy, when you want to get that into like your light bulbs or your gas stoves, or your refrigeration, there's a need for either. The way I look at it is, if you're as an independent, so if I was just purely independent, I was thinking, how would I relate this? Okay, so if you're an off-gridder or a homesteader, you're pretty much absorbing all the cost of your energy needs. So it's not because you're having to generate it yourself from whatever means you can source. So you have to, so the cost of that is on whomever is gonna, go that route. For the urban or the city dweller, we actually kind of get the benefit of a shared cost in that way, because usually it'll be distributed by a company or a municipality or something like that, and then we basically get a bill, right, to power up our homes and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of free. I don't see it as necessarily being free. There's always going to be some sort of conversion cost, or not. There's always going to be some sort of, whether it's time and energy, researching. There you go, energy. Whether it's your time researching what system will work best in your situation. If you're independent, maybe a homesteader, maybe an off-gridder, you're going to be putting in the time. But now, once you get that initial startup, your overall cost might be pretty low. It might be. I don't know. I'm not there, so I can't really. I'm not. But even with that, there's still going to be a cost associated with it. So that's kind of what I'm getting at with this commentary. Is I'm going to pan around this way. It's just the fact that there is a cost associated with getting energy to be usable. Now, in terms of powering a car, let's see, how's that look? Get a little stability. So in terms of powering a vehicle, manufacturing, and just overall, living life. But that's kind of, it really is kind of an individual choice on that. It really is, because like I say, I pretty much lived in the city most of my life. So energy has been relatively affordable. It does tend to, you have price spikes with the oil, gas prices, and that's why having options is a plus in my book. Having options, because even though I'm not a fan of the electrics, it is an option, and so is riding a bicycle and walking and talking, but that's why I say like the concept of free. There's going to be some sort of cost associated with that. So, because I've thought, it'd be nice to have a little piece of land, grow some stuff and maybe have some chickens and do that thing. And I think that's awesome. But people are out there doing that. That's awesome. I think that's great. But as far as what the cost is, they could probably best let people know. Like if you want interested in this lifestyle, yeah, there is. You might have to, because usually when you're on the land like that, you're also kind of you're committed to working the land too, especially if you're trying to provide for your own sustenance. So, I mean, it's there. You can plant seed, you'll have your crop, and you get your chickens or your goats or your cows, or depending on how much, and you have your sources. But it does have a cost. It's just, it may not. It's abundant, but it's not necessarily free. Got to work for it. And the people that do that know that best. Whereas in the city life, we kind of get the benefit of, having a shared cost, and that's how we're able to kind of keep the cost affordable. Okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to get at. That while the energy is, in fact, I do believe it is freely available, the real cost is how to utilize it. That's where the cost is. So as an independent, you're gonna basically bear that cost pretty much independently. And versus the city dwellers and the urban areas, they get the benefit of really kind of sharing in that cost to distribute the energy to homes in forms of electricity or gasoline. Businesses can set up to do those things and be profitable, and more people are able to benefit from it that way. So I think and then there's some other options where people, I think, get together and they try to do like a little solar deal, like a group solar or something like that. So that could, the main thing is that those options are there, and that helps to even out the cost. And like I say, for the homesteader or the rancher or the independent landowner, their upfront cost is probably pretty hefty once to get their systems worked out. But I think once they get them worked out, then they get the benefit of that. You still got to maintain it. It's like I say, it's all on a very individual process. Because sometimes, I mean, there are properties that can be like not too far from the normal distribution, so you can that could be an option. I've thought about that too. That's like an option to kind of still get power that's affordable, but don't have to worry about maintaining it, and it's stable. And then you just focus on the other things like, your crop or your chickens, and, maybe you got a shop or a small business and you're out on the ranch or a homestead, and maybe you're making products and you're bringing them into the farmers markets and stuff like that. So the main thing is having those options available. And that's why I get into these topics, because I think that's where the systems that we have, like, so for our system here in the U.S., we value property rights. That's like an essential for not just for being, that's just an essential thing that's needed for our systems to work. Strong property rights. And sometimes you hear the terms own nothing and control everything. I mean, I guess that's a whole nother way to look at stuff, and that's a whole nother system in itself. But for the more independent individual, property rights are an essential, because then all of a sudden it's like, you know, you got your thing going, you got your land, your ranch, your homestead, or your property, even a house, even the house in the city, and then all of a sudden something comes in, or whether it's government or big business or whatever, who knows, and it's like, since you own nothing, now we control everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's a cautionary on that, and that kind of ties into the same thing for another topic. I hope I was able to convey a message on that. That kind of ties into the next topic, is which something I've been kind of hitting on a little bit, is the economic or financial system, and it seems like we need a little more imagination in this area, because although I do feel the system is pretty fascinating when you really kind of break it down how it works, but overall, sustainability, repeatability, and the benefit to others, that's, those are some things that the more focus is placed on that hopefully the better systems can be improved on or built out, not only for us now, but for in the future now, So some of the way I look at it is, planning, whereas it says, if you're planning for like small business, you set up your plan, it's maybe like a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan, and then you see if you can hit your benchmarks. But when you're scaling things, then you're dealing with bigger territories or small and local cities and counties and stuff like that, you're probably doing a similar thing, and you're trying to plan out even further. And then you hear the term perpetuity, right? So that's almost like endless or infinityism. Anyways, that's like ongoing, right? Never ending. So right now I look at how even the way our ledger, like even just take a checking account set up. On my checking account ledger, it's set up with payment and withdrawal, and then credit, and that balances it out. So there's no plus or minus, and then it uses a balance, and then it's an explanation of what was actually done. So like $20 ATM withdrawal, maybe a paycheck would be like $100 credit, so and then a balance after I do a $20 withdrawal, $80, right? Simple math. But I think the way it's explained is it's accurate for our system, because our system is credit based, pretty much, the way I'm seeing it, and it's kind of credit and debt, and they're kind of like one and the same, so it's set up to really be to spend, because you don't necessarily want to just have a running tab on credit, because then you're just gonna blow it out, and you will want to save or invest, and that's a whole nother part of the ledger. But I always think, like, just to simplify things, and this is something that I do, and I'll show this. See if I can get this on camera. But the way the ledgers are set up are a little bit, I don't know if it's accurately describing what someone would want to accomplish, because it's set up on credit and spending, credit and debit. It's like the ledger's overloaded to one side, but you don't really see it that way because you're worried about a balance. Really, it could be more closer to something like this. Let's see if I can get this on. Is that even coming in? All right, so if you see, I have income and expenses, and then a plus and a minus, and then an amount. So this is a little bit more accurate in terms of how I like to see things. I like to see, like, say if I'm a small business, I got my pancake sale. I do pancake, business. The buttermilk pancakes. And I do $1,000. That's going to go on my plus sign, my plus column. And then come Tuesday, I got to pay the bills, right? So that's $100 right there, right? So I got my amount of 1,000 from my pancake sale, minus, see the minus, and then I got 100 minus 100. Now I got an amount left in my account of 900. That's mine. That's not an accurate. Don't get it twisted. That's not actual numbers or anything like that. And I don't do pancake sales, but you never know, right? So, but see, if you look at your check ledger, this is usually the balance. This is like this will be a withdrawal or payment, and this will be some sort of credit. You see the terminology: credit, debit. It's kind of one and the same. I put income and expenses here, but really that's kind of what it boils down to, because usually you'll be like 7-Eleven bottled water, whatever, and then the amount that it cost, right? And then your amount left over. So just wanted to share that out. All right, there that is. All right, folks, that's really kind of what I wanted to share out today. It's really just kind of those few topics. I use this little rock as a hold up. You guys are doing that. These guys are doing that frisbee golf. About to go. Whoa, there it goes. All right. See if I don't make sure I don't get hit by a frisbee. Let these guys go. All right, folks. So that's Rosco Odyssey walk and talk. Just wanted to share that out. And again, I'm thoughts, ideas, or I should say, no manipulations and machinations, just thoughts, ideas, and considerations. Thanks.